What's up, everybody? So it's been a minute since I've been able to sit down and do one of these videos and talk to you all. I hope everyone out there has been doing well. It's gotten extraordinarily warm where I live over the last week or so. We don't really have seasons anymore where I live. It goes from the cold to the extreme hot. We had frost one day, and then it was a scorcher the next day, and then it has stayed scorching ever since. It's beautiful out. The sunny weather, you can go to the beach now. It's absolutely beautiful out where I live. But what we're going to talk about today is an article that foxnews.com posted recently, and it is linked in the description below. They talk about the dark side of true crime. It was posted on May 24th. The headline is "The Dark Side of True Crime. Truth Matters, and we all must make truth more valuable than fiction." It states, true crime is booming. Streamers pump out hit true crime documentaries while cable channels dedicate all of their program to the genre. A legion of podcasters, YouTubers, TikTokers, and vloggers have built an audience of millions. I do not have millions. I'm trying to break 100K. We're so close. If they can do a lot of good too. Forgotten cases can be rediscovered by citizen journalists and sleuthers committed to finding justice for victims, can uncover hidden evidence and new suspects in crimes thought unsolvable. But true crime has a dark side. Thoughtful creators can build a loyal and large listener base, but for some, resisting the siren song of shock journalism and quick audience growth is simply too enticing to ignore. Driven by sensationalism, conspiracy theories, and irrationality, these creators appeal to our deepest fears and our distrust of the justice system. The consequences are all around us. Then it goes on to talk about a couple of cases. It talks about the Richard Allen case. It talks about the Karen Reed case, the Brian Kohberger case, the Scott Peterson case, Adnan Syed, and Stephen Avery. The siren call of conspiracy is not limited to those merely accused of crime. From Scott Peterson to Adnan Syed to Stephen Avery, big budget documentaries and slickly produced podcasts may use misinformation, police conspiracy theories, and emotional manipulation to convince millions their subjects are innocent victims of a rigged system. A financial return is vast, but so are the consequences. The victims are forgotten, their families left to litigate again and again the guilt of their loved ones' killers. The faith of the general public in the judicial system is shaken, endangering our communities and making it harder to bring justice to those who deserve it. And it's not just victims who suffer. And inundated with false, innocent stories, many in the public become jaded, and real cases of false convictions are less likely to be heard and less likely to be believed. The voices of the truly innocent are drowned out. Identifying the dark side of true crime is easy. Doing something about it is harder. First, the judicial system needs to take notice. Take the case in Indiana. That's the Richard Allen case. The court in that case issued a gag order, including on the families of the victims. And yet the defense has not been hindered in feeding their narrative to friendly YouTubers, while the family has had to watch silently as misinformation spreads. Streamers have a role to play too. They must vet documentaries for facts and evidence and value a commitment to the truth over a quick buck. The audience for thoughtful, disconcerting true crime is there. Give it to them. Consumers have a responsibility too. True crime consumers are discerning. When an innocent person is in prison, they want them released, while they want the guilty to stay there. And the proliferation of do-it-yourself podcasts and blogs has had the salubrious effect of giving everyone a voice. But that freedom comes at a cost. Gone are the gatekeepers. If anyone can start a podcast, anyone will. It falls to creators and true crime consumers to police themselves. Education and critical thinking are the key. We all love a good yarn, and we are all susceptible to the pull of conspiratorial thinking. We must resist the temptation to be carried away by the latest wave of sensationalism. Common sense still wins out, most of the time. As the old saying goes, when you hear hoofs beat, think horses, not zebras. And when the it should be like horses, not unicorns, maybe. And when the man with the bullhorn tells you zebras are on the loose, at least ask for some proof before panicking. Truth matters, and we all must make truth more valuable than fiction. The most powerful resource listeners have is their time. They should only give that time to those who deserve it. Otherwise, as long as the conspiracies and the sensationalism bring the clicks and the cash, the cause of justice and everyone who cares about it will continue to suffer. Now, the reason I read that is because Ken Kratz responded to it. I'll put it up on the screen for you so you can see what Ken Kratz had to say. He says, thank you for this article. Making a Murderer accused cops and prosecutors of targeting Stephen Avery and his nephew Brendan Dassey for the murder of a 25-year-old photographer, Teresa Halbach. I was the lead prosecutor in both trials. Immediately after its release, I was attacked and harassed online, leading to the close of my private law firm in 2016. Since then, my wife and I have been hounded and vilified, including discovery of live posts releasing our address, real-time photos of our home, and threats to blow up our houses while we occupied the residence. Due to the very real threats of harm, my wife developed an anxiety disorder, preventing her from leaving the house. I lost my ability to practice my profession as a trial lawyer. We spent our life savings trying to survive. I still remain unemployed. All for the fake allegations made in a TV show. Even after presenting proof of deceptive editing destroyed the poor Stephen Avery narrative, the public reaction has not changed. I will disagree with that because Andrew Colburn sued Netflix, and it went to court, or at least went in front of a judge, and the judge threw it out, stating that that wasn't the case. Now, a lot of you out there will know much more about that than I do, and you can explain it in the comments below if you wish, but that was thrown out. The Andrew Colburn lawsuit against Netflix for that did not go anywhere. They said that it wasn't a thing, and Andrew Colburn's lawsuit was dismissed. It's easier to fool people than to convince them they have been fooled. Until journalists and true crime influencers hold filmmakers accountable for ruining lives of innocent justice professionals, the blood sport that is online bullying will continue. And he tags me, allegedly a show, and Vegas Ranger 1872, who is the person that is asking Ken Kratz questions that I then read back on this channel, Ken Kratz's answers. That's where I'm going to end today's video. Hopefully I'll get another one of these out to you soon. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.